So now for a little bit of the chief vibes. Yeah, Pablo's got a little bit of rubber in her mouth. We're continuing with the theme of tools to help us step out of our head and into our hearts. And this one is a little bit of action that's required. Action required in what we eat. And I just find it a bit strange that in the day that we live, there aren't more kind of posters everywhere, and there isn't more fruit and veg available, and we're still looking at cigarettes, alcohol and sweeties and chocolate and processed foods when we go to shops and garages and stuff. But that is just my humble personal opinion. I find it fairly shocking and fairly backward, considering all those things will lead to chronic disease such as diabetes or heart issues or depression or anxiety or so many autoimmune disorders, and yet no one seems to be told this unless you step out of the box and do some training in nutrition or functional medicine or all the amazing complementary therapies that are out there to learn about. So I'm sharing it with you now. If you have a tendency to get low, if you get anxious, I really, really, really invite you to crowd out all fizzy drinks, all processed foods, anything that comes in a packet. If you buy something in a packet, recognise the ingredients. There are 68 hidden sugars in our foods that aren't even sugar. So if you want to eat sugar, eat proper sugar, like the sugar that we used to see on the table and put into a cup of tea. Oh, she's off. And alcohol, pharmaceutical drugs if they're abused and used for too long, illegal drugs, caffeine abused, all of these things, and crowd them out by bringing in lots and lots of water. Squeeze some lemon juice, lime juice into your water. That just alkalizes your body as well, which is really helpful. And crowd them out with exercise. So even if it's just a stroll, anything is better than nothing. And anything good that you bring in will crowd out these habits and these addictions that we have, and actually are usually unaware of how addicted we have become to these things. I feel like I've left off, but it's really, don't try and cut out. Well, I would advise you not to try and cut out, because the moment we try and cut something out or give it up for New Year, we create a conflict. Whereas if you crowd something out and by bringing in other good stuff, your body will start to crave the good stuff. Okay, and I've tried and tested this a lot myself, and it works brilliantly. And also by allowing, there's no fight. So if you say, yeah, I can have that cigarette, or I can have that glass of wine, but I'm just going to have a glass of water first, or I can have that 10th cup of coffee, but I'm actually going to have a glass of water first and an apple. And you'll just find over time, it may take longer, but it will be forever. So you will just, when you want to grab that processed packet of food or that chocolate bar that isn't really chocolate, and just go, okay, I can have that, but I'm just going to go and get that bottle of water and a banana first. Okay, and if your body really needs that chocolate bar, then go and get that chocolate bar after you've fed it some good stuff. Okay. And breathe, really connect to your breath. That would be really helpful. And really tap into your awareness. So be really aware of what you're putting into into your mouth and how it makes you feel. Okay. So this isn't about can't or cut it out now because you're doing yourself all this harm. It's about listening to how your body's responding to all of these things, and ultimately, all of these things, if you had it occasionally here and there, would be absolutely fine, because your body would just be able to deal with it. But unfortunately, we have overloaded our body with toxins. So our body, and we are surrounded by toxins as well, in the air, in pollution and stuff. So we really, our bodies are having to work super hard. And if we're not putting in lots of good stuff to help our bodies detox, and to have enough good stuff to do what the body needs to do and is amazing at doing, healing, then the body gets put under pressure and we have a sort of toxic overload. And then that leads to inflammation, chronic disease, and many other issues. But really, my message is here. It is a fact, okay? And I'm not trying to be a fun sponge, but it is a fact that most illegal drugs, alcohol, too much caffeine, sugar is as addictive as heroin, by the way, and all the processed stuff equal anxiety, stroke, and depression. Okay, now I don't know if you're told that when you go to doctors, but I'm just going to share that with you. And I am proof in the pudding, and I like to be a guinea pig in all the things that I share. And that doesn't mean it's the same for everyone, because we are all individuals. But I'm just saying it's worth giving it a shot. Crowd out the sugars, crowd out the caffeine or the excess caffeine. I'm definitely still working on that. Crowd out the booze, crowd out drugs. Both, obviously, if you have to be on pharmaceutical drugs, then you continue with those, absolutely. But if you're just dipping and diving in things over the counter, really, just everything has a side effect on those kind of on that side of things. Okay, and so just be respectful. And obviously the same if you're going to dabble in illegal drugs, same thing. It saddens me that there's a lot of young out there who just don't know this. The adults, they've had a choice to work this out, and if they haven't, then okay. But I really hope you young, you are awesome, and you've got so much to share and give, and I think you're amazing. So I hope you take this on board, and lots of love. Ciao.